Breaking news coming in this hour, N Srinivasan has been nominated to the post of ICC chairman. The ICC board has approved changes to governance, competition and financial models. The ICC board has approved a comprehensive resolution relating to the governance, competition and financial models of the ICC at a meeting in Singapore. Let's get in a word from Boria Majumdar, consulting editor sports for the India Today group, who's joining us this afternoon live. Boria, does this mean that the ICC has accepted the revamp plan?
Yes, it has, not entirely, but the revised proposals have been accepted. What is very important, Simi, is 8 members voted in favour. Exactly what we have been saying on headlines today. From the morning, from 8 o'clock onwards, we've been saying that BCCI and Cricket South Africa deal is in the offing, and Cricket South Africa will provide the 8th vote, which the big 3 needed. They had 7 votes till last night. Cricket South Africa, on the basis of certain conditions which they had put forward, which we have been putting out exclusively on headlines today, Cricket South Africa was the 8th and elusive final vote that supported the resolution. 2 people abstained. Pakistan and Sri Lanka did not vote in favour of the resolution. 2 members abstained. So it wasn't unanimous. Sri Lanka and Pakistan abstaining means they might even now take the legal recourse. This is not the end of the story. They might even take the ICC to court. That is why they have abstained. But as exactly we've been saying on headlines today, South Africa was the 8th and final vote that allowed the resolutions and the revamp plan to go through. This means Mr. Srinivasan will become the first chairman. This means that the revamp plan in terms of financial remodeling will now go through. But the exact allocation, the exact workings will now have to be worked, because there's a lot of drama still to unfold leading to the ICC June annual meetings. Because what I'm hearing from inside is Sri Lanka and Pakistan will even consider legal recourse. That's what I've just heard, which is why they abstained. They did not even vote against, because they don't think that these proposals have legal validity. So the ICC clearly, as you can see, the 10 members are still not united. It is not unanimous. South Africa clinched it for the BCCI on the basis of certain concessions that they have now managed to get. Exactly what we've been predicting on headlines today all morning.
Right, so Boria, you're basically saying that Sri Lanka and Pakistan might take the ICC to court, but after this vote, what happens is that the BCCI, Cricket Australia and the English Cricket Board become in charge of international cricket.
You know, you cannot put it like that, because the proposals have been fundamentally changed from the original ones. Yes, BCCI, Cricket Australia and England definitely will have the larger say, definitely will have more control. You know, Mr. Srinivasan will be the first chairman, Giles Clark will be the director of the executive board, and Wally Edwards of Australia. So yes, for sure, that BCCI, ECB and CA have their way in the ICC meeting in Singapore, thanks to Cricket South Africa's last and clinching vote. The interesting thing is, there is still a lot of things unsaid. One question, does this mean Mr. Srinivasan will have to give up the presidency of the BCCI? Cricket South Africa's proposals contain that they will support the chairman only if that chairman does not hold office in his own respective board. We don't have clarity. Second, does this mean that Cricket South Africa will get the right to host a World Cup? We don't know. To what extent have South Africa's proposals been accepted? We don't know. What we do know, and from inside, is that the major governance proposals have gone through, but they will have to be ratified at the ICC annual meeting in June. So even if the resolutions have been passed, they now need bulk of the members, including associate members, to ratify. But clearly, BCCI, ECB and CA have had their way in the Singapore meeting, thanks to the last and 8th vote coming in their way from Cricket South Africa, as we have been predicting that there was a deal between BCCI and Cricket South Africa that was struck last night.
Right, and Boria, with N Srinivasan being nominated to the post of chairman of the ICC, what happens to the charges of corruption that he's been battling back home?
$1 million question. Firstly, the charges have not yet been proved, in the sense the Mudgal committee report is coming out on Monday. After the Mudgal committee report comes out, we don't know. After that, what will happen, we don't know. But it's very, very interesting to see what happens in that Mudgal committee report. What happens to Chennai Super Kings? What happens to Mr. Srinivasan? What happens to all of that? But at this point in time, the ICC has passed a resolution anointing him as chairman. What I'm interested in knowing, and we still don't have clarity, is does this mean he has to resign his position as BCCI president? Because that was a condition that Cricket South Africa had placed, saying we will support the issue of chairmanship only if the chairman is no longer a member or president of his particular board. So has that gone through? We don't know. Charges of corruption, you have to wait till Monday. All I can tell you is once the Mudgal committee report is submitted on Monday, the world cricket will once again be in serious flux. At this point in time, South Africa proved pivotal and has gone through with the deal. They have walked away from Pakistan and Sri Lanka. They have left Pakistan and Sri Lanka in the lurch. Pakistan and Sri Lanka are livid, but ECB, CA and BCCI, thanks to South Africa, have had their way.
Right, and Bore, I also want to ask you, does this mean that that the BCCI, Cricket Australia and the English Cricket Board will also be handling a bulk of the finances as far as the ICC is concerned?
See, that's exactly what I want to know, because Cricket South Africa was very clear that unless transparency is and accountability, the two watchwords, unless the revenue distribution is made clear to the full member boards, they will not support. Now, to what extent the allocation will, because the press release says every member board stands to benefit. Now, to what extent will they benefit? How much is India's kitty? Because according to the original proportion, $570 million was coming to the BCCI out of 800. Now, that is close to two-thirds or more than two-thirds. After the revision, to what extent the BCCI is getting, how much have they given in to the South African bargain, how much is ECB is getting, or how much Australia is getting, to what extent the associate members will benefit, nothing has been made clear. But one thing, please note, there has been a lot of back channel, there has been a lot of bargain, and the main player in this bargain has been South Africa. Till last night, BCCI, ECB and CA had 7 votes. They needed 8 votes to make the resolutions go through. Pakistan, Sri Lanka and South Africa were 1. South Africa broke ranks with Pakistan and Sri Lanka, joined hands with these members for a certain number of concessions. What exactly are in the nature of these concessions that they have finally got, we don't know, but clearly it has been the South African vote and the deal that headlines today have been talking about all morning. That deal has made these resolutions go through. I'm fascinated by the fact that Sri Lanka and Pakistan have abstained. If you remember, Simi, the ICC press release on 28th of January said the resolutions are unanimously accepted. I hope you remember that. The press release said the resolutions have been unanimously accepted. Clearly, the ICC resolutions have not been unanimously accepted, with Pakistan and Sri Lanka refusing to support, and they had abstained.
Absolutely. But you're also telling us that there's a possibility of Pakistan and Sri Lanka taking the ICC to court. Of course, we'll wait and watch when that happens. What we do know now is that N Srinivasan has been nominated to the post of ICC chairman. A huge development coming this morning. Bore Majumdar, thanks so much for that update. We'll continue tracking developments with you.